Hi, I'm Danny Valerio. I'm the Assistant Director at the New Mexico JTC for Electrical Trades. And I'm Bobby's assistant. So I've recently came on to help him because we've become extremely busy here at the JTC.
Good. Thank you for being here too as well. All right, everyone. So I'm glad that you took some time out of your day. This, the importance of what we're doing here. Real quick, I'm going to drop, give me a second, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat. And what I'm putting in the chat, oops. Okay, what I'm putting in the chat is a Padlet, and it's going to record your responses to the two questions that Christian referred to in, and I'm going to share my screen. So can everybody see my screen? We're good? Okay. So in the chat, if you click on that link, it'll allow you into this Padlet. And so once you're in there, this first question right here that says, what is one thing that can be done to improve high school or post-secondary skilled trade programs? If you just click on the plus sign, you will be able to add your response into the Padlet. And so you can go ahead and do that now. I'm just going to put, so you can either type in the subject line or you can type down here where it says write something beautiful. It'll record whatever you write. So I'll put an example. And then if you click publish, it will document your answer. And feel free to put how many responses that you want, to get your concerns out there, what your input is. I'm seeing a lot of interesting responses. So we have OSHA and first aid classes for high schools. Shop classes, I'm not sure, but are the traditional shop class and automotive classes being offered anymore? Math prep. Schools need to return to offering shop classes and other hands-on skills. More positive approaches to skilled trades. And I'm going to delete my post that said obtain industry recognized certifications because I want to record your responses. Getting more information about trades into the schools. Partner with already established state accredited apprenticeship programs, involve them in classroom activities. Prepare students to be work ready, which includes soft skills. Employability skills. Okay. If you're ready to go on to the second question, I know some of you are, that's fine. What can your company do to support programs in skilled trades, either at the high school level or the post-secondary level? Micro internships to drive exposure. Dual credit program. I just want to check in with everybody. Is everybody able to access the link? You give me just a thumbs up to let me know. Okay, thanks. So we have some more responses here. Create a pipeline to employment. Attend career fairs, speak to the students about the value of a career in the trades. This is all great information that you have provided. Okay. A few more minutes I'll give you, and then we can open this up for discussion on some of these responses. Offer a construction boot camp to demonstrate a day in the life of construction. Okay. All right, so I'm still seeing some responses coming in. So I'm going to open it up to discussion here, and I just want to, probe a little bit more on somebody who put down employability skills. What specific employability skills are you looking for? I know I had a conversation the other day with my 8th grader niece, and I was telling her, some of those soft skills that you need to learn is that when you're done with a task that somebody assigned to you, you should do something more, not just say, I'm done, sit down and get on your phone. You should say, what else can I do? What else can I learn? What can I find to do? If I have to create a list of things for you to do when you're done with what you're supposed to do, we can work it that way. So I don't know, are there some other employability skills?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. The problem we've had with high school interns is lack of initiative, right? And it's kind of, you have to make a list, and then they're done with that, and they don't keep on trying to find more stuff to do. The other one along with that is this idea of being a learner. And if you're going to spend time in our space, man, leverage that opportunity to learn as much as you can about our place, about our industry. And they just you know, they just have no questions. It's like, how do you not have any questions? You know, if I walked into some place I had no idea what was going on, I'd have a lot of questions, right? And that's what we don't see a lot of.
Yeah, the drive to learn, I guess.
Well, even on a, you know, really basic level is, this I think goes back to, I don't want to blame parents or anything like that, but like not an understanding of respect, of how to approach individuals, how to speak, you know, respectfully, to know, you know, you're new coming in. And I notice a lot of young people have either they're totally disengaged and they're on their phones, which again is, you know, probably a big no-no in work, but it doesn't seem to be really addressed. But, you know, acting in a respectful manner and understanding that you're around people who know more than you do and are involved in an industry. And, you know, as Sam brought out, that there seems to be that lack of initiative to even be interested in anything. And for myself, you know, then I find it hard to want to engage with a person who doesn't kind of have that within them. But you know, those are just some of the things that we kind of take for granted growing up, shaking hands, looking you in the eye, answering questions. You know, those qualities don't seem to exist in a lot of young people these days. And I don't know where it's gone or who to talk to, but it's not there.
Okay. I'm going to document these. These are, I'm putting them in your words, okay? So this isn't, this is coming from you. So I just really, this is good stuff. I know I've heard that before about making eye contact, shaking hands. It's almost like they're socially, like the term SAP, socially alienated person, you know. The social skills are really hard to get across to some of these students as well. Lack initiative, learner.
Breezy, I know that, I mean, one thing that as I've come across is that just the ability to network. I mean, all of us in this space right now, I mean, I have to do it virtually, but all of us, you can put us in a room, we kind of know now that we need to learn how to network, and I can go up to any one of these people and we're working through it. That is a learned skill. I think it's a learned skill. Yes, there's our people who have it more naturally, but I guarantee you there's things that you can put in place that it's a learned skill. And if you just had that kind of class or curriculum that teaches you how to walk into a room of strangers and get information and introduce yourself and be able to, I mean, it is such a differentiating piece when you see a young person come into the space and they're able to network. I mean, you kind of go, great, this guy's will figure it out, you know.
Okay, awesome. So
One thing I just want to mention too, when we have, I have parents who come in with their adult child to ask about apprenticeship. And that just blows me away. I mean, we're not talking about somebody who's like 15, 16 or something like that. We're talking about somebody who's 20, 21, and they've got mom and dad coming in, asking the questions about the apprenticeship. And this is the person who's going to be taking it. And they just sit there like a bump on the log. And then after I've gone through all of this, they come back and like, oh, well, I didn't understand. So I thought for a long time, I had this gentleman come in. I thought he was wanting to get into the apprenticeship. And I started talking to him as a second career. And he said, no, it's my son. He's like 21. So yeah, that's a real mind-blowing one for me.
thank you.
Yeah,
for
we
those.
seem to get the same problem, you know, same issues here with that as well. And I try my best to look at the applicant and explain to them, not talk to the parent, but Another big issue I think we have nowadays, which used to not be such a big, it was an expectation in the past, but attendance, whether it's at school or work, it just seems like people nowadays think that the world revolves around them and everything going on in their life, but you need to be there every day on time, and that's one of the biggest problems we have. Or people want to make more money. They want to talk about how much they get paid, but they don't really learn. They're not working at that level, so.
And the other thing is too, is people bringing their drama to work. I notice about apprentices, and there's an expression now that some of them are using is like baby mama drama. And they have to leave the class, they have to, and you're saying, well, what's going on? And it really isn't anything, an emergency, but they deem everything an emergency. Oh, wow, we have no diapers. I got to leave like right now. And I'm thinking, you can't get somebody else to do this, or you couldn't. There's also a lack of thinking ahead. I noticed there's a complete lack. I see Sam laughing here, a complete lack of life preparation. It's like they wake up in the morning, like every day is a brand new day, and they don't have a clue as to how they're going to address it. There's no priorities given. There's no organization of their day, of what they need to do to get ready so that they can come to an apprenticeship class and learn. So that way, everything's an emergency. Everything is a crisis, but they want you to solve it. So where do we have to go to change that? I'm not sure. I sit in my office and almost break a yardstick over my knee because, you just get so frustrated.
Breezy, one thing you should write down, I think, along those lines is financial literacy. Because I think that's what helps bring some of that, not dealing with the present, but thinking about the future. And we've had instances where the kid started getting a paycheck and all of a sudden they get a new car. And I'm like, wow, that's.
Yeah. Yeah. I taught financial literacy for a very long time in high school. That was one of my CTE classes that I was like, I fought to make that a requirement in our high school. I fought to make sure every kid goes through financial literacy, but they don't think it's important at the time, but you're exactly right. Adam, Danny, do you have any additional? Rhonda?
The only thing I guess that you could add is just maybe being responsible for yourself. I mean, it all ties together with attendance and calling in when you're not going to be able to come into work, and a lot of this stuff is just being responsible for your own actions.
Thank you for that. Is there any, looking through, I'm going to publish that. Let's see, let's look through some of these answers here. Okay, so I see this one, a lot of different agencies, organizations, schools that are trying to solve the lack of skilled trade, but there seems to be no one taking the lead to bring all the groups together to work on the problem. Can somebody be a little bit more specific with this?
I know it's hard work, and every industry is trying to tackle the problem, but I think in the last 18 months, I've been on one of these kinds of calls about input. I know Greta has probably been in the same ones. CNM wants one, UNM wants one, CNM, some other entity inside CNM, PED, APS. There's entities all over our state who are trying to solve this problem, but nobody's bringing it all together and saying, let's all figure it out, because everybody's got money. To be honest, I think everybody's got money they've got to keep, and Unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation, but that is one way that could help improve the overall high school trade program, is to get alignment around everybody and pull resources as opposed to just, taking more resources.
Absolutely agree. And I think that was one of the things, is that that's where we find replication of services through so many different agencies that are trying to accomplish the same thing. But it seems like instead of like working, we keep up breaking up the pie into too many pieces. And then it's like, where do we go from here? So rather than worrying about who gets the credit, let's just let's get the answer and work towards the solution.
Okay, so this is some great information. We have about 40 seconds left in the breakout session. So is there any other pressing information that you want me to record on here or that we can discuss? I also need somebody to report out when we get into the big group. So is somebody willing to take on that responsibility and reporting out?
I vote for Sam. He's very articulate.
All right.
If no one else objects, are we okay with Sam being our person to report out? Okay. Again, I greatly